Well, why is it that criminals become early adopters of technology? Because they face the highest level of friction in the marketplace. Because criminal enterprise is the least efficient form of enterprise. And therefore, you have to use it's the most brutally competitive, and you have to use the most cutting-edge technology. Criminals were the first to use cars, the first to use phones, the first to use electricity, the first to use every single technology. Fire was probably first used by a criminal.
Because they need it for their business, because they're on the cutting edge.
Because by necessity. And that's not saying that's a good thing. That's just a simple recognition of the fact that when you have something that solves problems, it will be applied in the areas where friction is highest. And the places where friction is highest is usually related to illicit activity, because the friction is imposed by society to stop those things from happening, right?
Okay.
And so, of course they do. Of course they use them. But that changes very quickly, and it changes in every technology, because as the adoption spreads and it becomes more mainstream, the use of the technology changes to reflect the user adoption, to reflect the society and the culture that's adopting it. Right. So, today the internet is used predominantly to post videos of cats.
Still?
It's an enormous industry and will continue to be, the petabytes of cat videos. But the point is that the vast majority of people use the internet to do perfectly normal social interactions. And Bitcoin is already morphing into that.
But it started off with being associated with the Silk Road and these kind of places. But a lot of people, their first contact with it was something like that.
Yes,
correct?
And of course, not only there is some association with that, but then of course that is the only association the media wants to write about, because it generates clickbait headlines and eyeballs. So
would you argue that some governments would prefer that association as well?
Oh, they've been actively promoting that association, and they're quite gleefully they're quite gleefully piling on the propaganda, because that allows them to really try to stop something that feels uncomfortable, that is change, that represents a threat.
When I read the account of the Dread Pirate Robert being arrested, who was as far as we know, one alleged to be the creator of the Silk Road, or one of the many creators. When I read about it and read about the hit that he apparently put out in Bitcoin, for me, being in the media, I just thought, I can't even believe 20% of this. Just because it sounds like it's such in the interest of the US government or governments worldwide to make it look bad.
Well, we now know that some of the most nefarious activity occurring on the Silk Road was by the two DEA agents, who have now both pled guilty and are facing very stiff sentences for not only stealing money, but of course the actual hit was orchestrated by a DEA agent, really? A rogue DEA agent.
Oh, to incriminate, or just for his own reasons?
He stole more than $500,000 from the Silk Road for his own pocket.
Okay. So that story is already being discounted.
Well, it's not being discounted. Well, Ross Ulbricht is in jail, regardless. But in the end, the most nefarious, most corrupt character in all was a drug cop. No surprise there.
What's your read on all of that? What's your read on the closing of the Silk Road, all of those pieces? To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to LondonRealAcademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media login and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at LondonRealAcademy.com. So click on the link below. You'll be directed there, and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.